Folks, something exciting just happened in the movie world. I almost forgot that 10 years ago, young adult action thriller novels turned into movies became a thing. There's Maze Runner, Divergent, but Hunger Games was probably the most popular and financially successful. Then they disappeared, overrun by its competition with superhero movies. But now that superhero movies are dead, the Hunger Games franchise attempts to reclaim their audience with the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The question is, are we still hungry for Hunger Games? Without Jennifer Lawrence, will this franchise be in good hands with Rachel Zegler? The movie centers around Coriolanus Snow, who would later become President Snow. But before he became the most powerful man in the capital and the most hated man in the 12 districts, he was once a mentor in the formative years of the Hunger Games. Then comes Lucy Gray, an arrogant and feisty tribute assigned to Coriolanus. In The Reaping, Lucy sang like an angel with a country accent, then sang more after that as if it's a musical. I enjoyed every second of it though, as she sang from the heart with meaningful lyrics that gave depth to her character, despite how odd and cheesy it was to randomly break into song while tributes were dying. The point is, he was smitten by her damn good looks and sheer talent that this boy would lie, cheat, and steal for his tribute to gain an advantage and survive the games. But will she? Will they fall in love and live happily ever after? What surprised me was how different this was from all other Hunger Games movies. It's better in a lot of ways with a more unpredictable fast plot, more compelling side characters, and a noticeably grittier, darker tone. First of all, Viola Davis exuded power with the right amount of inner darkness that said, powerful people can do whatever they want with whatever excuses to justify them, no matter how senseless, just because they can and no one can question them. Then there's Jason Schwartzman as the game host, who didn't try to be Stanley Tucci, instead gave the familiar character a fresh approach to a much-needed comic relief in a tonally dark movie without feeling forced. Now, despite how happy I was to see Peter Dinklage, they gave him nothing to do. He popped up every once in a while to deliver exposition, then gave a big speech in the end, telling us about some moral lesson I didn't care to remember, because he did nothing that affected the story for whatever he said to matter. It was one of the most confusing endings to a movie, not for his lack of talent though. The greatest strength of this movie was how simple the games were, stripped of unnecessary spectacle, relying on small characters to deliver truly heartbreaking moments despite the lack of screen time for setup. I also gotta give it to the production that takes us back 64 years ago since the events of the first movie, seeing older TVs and people dressed like in the 60s, making it an authentic period piece of a made-up world. However, the biggest failure was the unsatisfying love story, when love is supposed to be a main ingredient for this kind of movie. I mean, the whole premise is a rich boy who breaks all the rules and gives up everything to be with this poor girl because she's talented and breathtakingly beautiful. But there was no chemistry. They felt like BFFs. I thought he just felt sorry for her and she just needed someone she could trust. But here's what's weird. In the third act, he cut his hair, then the chemistry kicked in, and now they look cute together all of a sudden. Though the love story came in late, it still organically blended with the plot because after everything they went through together, they deserved to be together. There were cute, simple, sweet moments that didn't feel forced, but those didn't last long enough to my frustration, as the fast plot couldn't wait for the next twist, resulting in an underdeveloped love story that didn't explain why one of them did what they did, except that things don't always go smoothly between lovers from totally different worlds. Nevertheless, it was the twist needed for Coriolanus to become the man he will be in the future, which is really what this movie wanted to accomplish. I just thought the love story should have been more satisfying for a movie like this. But overall, I'm satisfied with how young adult action thriller movies came back with fresh creativity, despite a plot that lost its way yet kept me wanting more. Unlike superhero movies that rely on tropes without any real effort for improvement. Thanks for watching.